Hey there folks, I have a pair of outstanding mods for you today, but before we get going I have one quick announcement. Even though I really don't have a published video release schedule, I usually release on Friday night or Saturday mornings, but things have been really busy at work, so when I get home I've been doing next to nothing. I've just been too tired on weeknights. So for the foreseeable future I'll probably be releasing videos on Sunday until things slow down a little bit. Also, in this episode, I'll be reviewing a SKIMPY armor, and if that's not your thing, you might want to move on to another one of my videos. First up out of the chute, I have a new armor from Gutrus 1. This is Elvenia. If that author sounds familiar, that's because I reviewed his Epoch armor a few episodes back. Now, I loved that armor, and I love this one, and I'm sure you will too. The armor consists of the body, gauntlets, boots, a circlet, and earrings. In addition, you can get a unique bow and arrows. All of it is based on Elven Armor and weapons, and I think Gutrus has captured the spirit of Elven Armor while still remaining uniquely beautiful. Now, there are some requirements for the mod. You're going to need the aMidianBorn Elven Armor textures, and you have your choice of those, and I went with a darker one myself. You will also need the Elven Weapons for silence and the Net Immerse Override for the heals. Please note that if you have Race Menu, then you already have Net Immerse as it comes as part of that mod. The armor can be created at the forge with various combinations of iron, refined moonstone, leather, and leather strips, and can be improved at the workbench with iron and moonstone. The bow can be made using moonstone, quicksilver, and iron, and improved with those same materials with the addition of gold and ebony. The bow is definitely unusual in its design. It's like a blend of a modern compound bow and an Ultimate bow. The base stats are about average for an elven bow, but once improved and enchanted, its stats are comparable to the Dragonbone bow. Attached to the arrow is not only an awesome flight effect, but a very cool impact effect. Couple that with an an enchantment, and the bow is not only deadly, but fun to shoot. The etching on the armor and the feather motif make this armor absolutely beautiful, and the author did a fabulous job with the design from the circlet to the boots. As an added nice touch, both the circlet and the earrings pulse slightly with a light of their own. A little later, I'll be taking Tish and her follower Tish and out for a little test spin with the armor, and you'll get to see it in action. Next up, we have a new weapon pack by Billyro. This is the Epoch Weapons Pack, and before I get messages, yes, I know, in most of the United States it's pronounced Epic. My family is more or less recently from the UK. I mean, only going back like 2.5 generations, basically. So they taught me to pronounce it Epoch instead of Epic, and so I'm just going to go with that. Anyway, moving on. As many of you know, I am a huge fan of Billyro's work, so I absolutely had to cover this mod, and I am glad I did so. The pack includes a flamberge, a dagger, and 2 fire staves. The weapons are a mix of both 2K and 4K textures, and also available for download is a compatibility patch for dual sheath redo. Now, for you history buffs, the flamberge is a type of real-life two-handed sword with a wavy blade reminiscent of flame, hence the name. Now, I've read several explanations as to why the swords were forged this way, and amongst the most plausible was that parrying an opponent's strike would transmit unpleasant vibrations to their hands and arms. Now, there's also the school of thought that the shape of the blade increased the cutting surface, and finally there's my hypothesis, is that it just looks scary as hell. Moving on, the dagger is heavy bladed with a flat wire wrapped leather grip and a pommel with an eagle etched on it. I believe that's an eagle. It looks like an eagle, so we're going to go with eagle. Both the staves look as if the shafts were made with good stout hardwood or metal, and both are topped with a crescent moon-shaped tip that shoots fireballs, dealing 50 points of damage in a 15-foot radius on impact. Of the two, I like the one with the floating flame ball the most. I just thought it made it look extra cool. Like all of Billyro's work, a great deal of attention was paid to the textures and the details, and it shows in the finished work. So now it's time for me to take the mods out and try them in combat and see what I think. Afterwards, I'll give you my honest assessment and critiques, if any. So I need you to sit back, relax, enjoy the action clips, and we will be back in a bit. I hope you all enjoyed watching those clips as much as I did making them. It was a lot of fun. The Elvenia Armor by Gutrus1 is both beautiful, and it was protective despite Tish being a sneeze away from showing off her lady bits. The author did a spectacular job with the meshes and textures, as well as the very sexy design. The bow was a great deal of fun, and I loved both the flight effects and the impact effects of the arrows. Now, just so you know, Gutrus1 also made some custom animations that you can download and try out to go with the armor. The only reason I did not do it is that I have been having some odd issues with FNIS that I did not get ironed out until it was just too late to do it. Anyway, if you like your lady characters or your NPCs with skimpy, sexy armor, then this is the mod for you. Download it, check it out, and I'm sure you will like it. Once again, Billyro has delivered with his weapons. The pack contained a nice variety, and it was awesome to see him throw in some magic staves this time. Out of the pack, the dagger was my favorite. I just really like the looks of its heavier blade versus the vanilla daggers. It's really very cool. The flambears was a lot of fun to use, even though two-handed weapons really aren't Tish's forte. Finally, the staves were a blast to use, pun intended, especially with one in each hand, and insert your own joke there. One thing I forgot to mention earlier, though, was that the weapons are inside of Travis's watch, and you have to go on a little adventure to acquire them. After doing so, they could be taken to the grindstone and improved with a steel ingot. The weapon pack is top-notch as per Billyro's usual standard. I encourage you to download it and check it out. If you do download these mods and enjoy them as much as I have, please remember to hit the endorse button or maybe even vote them up for File of the Month if you feel like it. If the mod author has a mechanism in place for donating cash, please do so. Hey, it's the holidays. I'm sure they could use a little extra money. Once again, I have been your host, Porterhouse. If you enjoyed my video, please remember to click that like button and subscribe if you have not already done so. I will see you all at the next review.